We are here with Clint Swain, and you are with Fakes and Hooker Lumber. We are so happy you're here today. We'll start off by just welcoming you, and we want to know a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so we are a locally owned and operated company here in Lebanon. We're just off the town square. We've been around since the late 1870s, so rich history in the community. Just like we do today, we still bring in lumber by train, and they did the same thing back in the 1870s. So they brought in lumber by railroad and then would offload that and actually deliver it to job sites with horse and buggy. So
wow,
things have evolved now to where we deliver, of course, with
a little evolution in time here.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we deliver lumber, with semi trucks and forklifts, but the baseline of the business is we still try to get the right material on the job to take care of the customer. So that hasn't changed in over 100 years. So, but
the value is still there.
That's correct.
In a different way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So many of the houses like around the Cumberland University area, to think about those projects being delivered by a horse-drawn carriage and guys unloading lumber is pretty cool. So it's neat to know that the history of the business goes back that far and how we've been able to impact the community for quite some time. So, but I think the same values that they had then, we still have now.
And what are those values?
Well, it's just to have we work with such a good group of people. Our coworkers at Fakes and Hooker are great people. We've got a great team. They truly take care of their customer, and we have a very loyal customer base, whether it's builders or homeowners, but just trying to make sure we put the customer first and take care of their needs. But largely we focus today on lumber, roofing, windows and doors, and then interior molding and millwork. And we've got a door shop that we pre-hang doors over there off the Watertown exit. So also here in Lebanon, that complements the trim package. So we have like base and crown and casing and the interior doors and the stair parts and all that fun stuff you get to pick out, when you're building a house.
Absolutely.
And then we have a paint department also inside Fakes and Hooker Lumber. So it's neat. We try to connect the dots, but at the end of the day, take care of the customer and make sure we get the right material on the ground. So,
wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
More than I even thought.
That's right. It's fun though. It's a fun business. We also, when the contractors come in, oftentimes the conversation starts with the blueprint. We'll roll the blueprint out on the table. We'll go over all, the things that the customer wants to make sure that happen. But we in-house, we draw and design the structural components for the house. So taking that service a step further, we make sure when we deliver the products on site that there is a structural rendering of the blueprint that they brought us. So if you bring plans to me, I take your blueprints, we draw in-house structural design that the framers can use when they're building the home. So to make sure the ceiling joist and the floor joist and the rafters and all the point loads are coming down in the right spot to make sure we ensure the structural integrity of the home. So we supply those documents to the framers to where they know what to do once the lumber's delivered. So
now there's this whole process. Do you have a favorite part about this process?
I would say the lumber. We a lot of people at Fakes and Hooker say we got sawdust in our veins. I've been around the lumber business my whole life, so I do love the lumber, and I like the structural aspect of things, but I enjoy the windows and doors and really every part of our business. It's a fun business to be a part of.
Oh yeah.
And when you've got such good people to work with and such good customers to serve, it makes waking up going to work every day a lot of fun, I think. So we enjoy
priceless.
it.
Win-win. I love that.
For sure.
So, we're just starting the new year. It's 2021. Are there any special trends that folks at home should be looking for?
Yeah, I think so. The open floor concept is still relevant and really, people, I think this in 2020 at least, and even now, are home more than we've been probably ever, right? So you're spending plenty of time at home, and those common spaces in the house are where we find ourselves, in the living room, kitchen, breakfast nooks, in those areas where people congregate. Even outdoor living there's been a lot of push for outdoor living, bigger porches and outdoor kitchens and all that type of stuff. But I think that the open floor concept is still really, really, a main focus of a lot of the projects that we're doing now. And then I think less is more. So 10 or 15 years ago, things were a lot more decorative, where now it's more straight lines, clean.
More minimalistic,
That's correct.
simple.
Simplistic styles.
Yes.
And you get the craftsman in farmhouse, but in ways kind of leaning towards modern contemporary look. But I think that I like that style, and I think that it also lends itself to be able to transition down the road as trends change, because you start with a simplistic base.
You can always
I think you
add
can always
to.
add to. That's correct.
That's so true.
Yeah, so I think today's look really lends itself to be able to adapt to what's to come down the road. But I've always felt houses that were built in the 20s and 30s still look good today. And a lot of those same looks and designs are incorporated into new houses today, which I think is cool. So
That is.
and then other trends on the outside of the house, I think you see a lot of painted brick, you see a lot of dark windows, you see brick, you see hardy, you see stone. We're in a market that was largely brick driven for a long time, and you had the typical red brick house and white trim, and which are great. It looks good as well, but now you see people painting brick and really putting their own touch on the house, which is neat to see. But you still see wood doors, rustic timber beams for porch columns, and so even like with a painted brick house, they'll have accents of wood, which I think is neat as well. So yeah, I think the trends, are continuing to evolve, and right now though, I think that it's just kind of taking a more simplistic approach.
I always love simple.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
And now you mentioned, we're all most of us spending a lot more time in the common living space.
Yes.
Now, this past year, as we all know, mental health is something that is real, and the value and importance of focusing on our mental health and well-being, being at home more often. How do you feel like these two can relate and help folks at home? You mentioned the windows and being in that common area. How can we link this to the main theme of the expo here? So
I think that, specifically for Fakes and Hooker, I don't know how much of an impact we have on the mental health and well-being of people, but I think that for us as a company, trying to walk somebody through the home building process, it can be stressful. So just trying to alleviate stress. And I think trying to make that customer selection process easy. It doesn't really matter what you pick out as long as it's right for you. So, just making sure the options that are available.
Making it comfortable.
Making it comfortable,
homey.
that's correct. And making sure that the end product is what you want. Because everyone's, hopefully proud of their house and enjoy the space they live in. So I think if the end result is you build a house that you're proud of, that you enjoy spending time with your family and friends, and you enjoy being home, then I feel like we've done our part.
Yes.
And if we can make that journey a little easier, then I feel like that Fakes and Hookers done their part to ease the stress.
Right.
And because it can be stressful, but if it's done the right way and you've got the right team in place, you can at least alleviate the stress to where when the construction process is over, they say, man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they may even do it again, What you don't want them to say, what you don't want them to say is,
Fakes and Hooker, I am
that's
hooked.
right.
I
Yeah.
am hooked.
Yeah, I like that. So what you don't want them to say is, that's the last house I'll ever build. Or,
Right.
my wife and I were
We got into so
that's
many
right.
fights
Yeah,
over this.
yeah.
You
See,
want to make it seamless.
That's correct.
Smooth. Well,
yes.
that right there is tremendous value.
Yeah.
And did you mention you might have an exclusive offer?
We do. We
Okay,
do. We've done
tell
that
us about that.
Yeah, we've done that for years now, and it's fun. It's exciting for us. Under normal circumstances, when it's not a virtual event, people come by the booth. We talk for a few minutes, talk about their project, kind of engage the customer as to what they've got going on. They fill out their name, put it in a bin, and we end up drawing 4 names. It's $2,500 total. Giveaway. It's a paint giveaway. So we have 4 customers. If we select their name, they'll get up to 8 gallons of Aura paint, which is a Benjamin Moore product.
Is there
And
something?
It's the highest quality paint they make. So yeah, and it's up to 8 gallons, and so 4 customers would typically win, and they get to come in and pick out paint and hopefully spruce up a bedroom, or maybe take some old wood cabinets and paint those to give them a facelift and update the kitchen.
It's always refreshing just to have a new scenery.
Sure.
Whether it's just a brand new fresh paint, it's like you're looking at something brand new, fresh. You're seeing it every single day.
That's right.
And something like paint actually can really go a long way.
Well, and we chose paint because hopefully it draws customers in that maybe have never been to Fix and Hooker before, or maybe someone wins that's been a long time customer. Regardless, paint is one of those items that most everyone can use the paint.
Yes.
Not everybody needs lumber, perhaps, and not everybody needs roofing or windows, but paint, everybody really can update a room, or like I said, paint some cabinets to kind of give the kitchen a facelift.
Yeah.
Or for the bold, could even paint the exterior of their home, which I think it makes a huge transformation of a house. And
are there any trending colors, or is it really to each their own?
I think to each their own, but yeah, definitely I would say that the whites and the grays, and you see a lot of white and gray hues that are selected, but
more neutral.
More neutral. It goes back to kind of the simplistic approach we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But I do think to each their own. If somebody wanted to paint their house, a funky color, more power to them. I think that's what makes a home a home. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, why should people choose this bank in particular to help with their home project?
I've been a Wilson Bank and Trust customer for a long time, and they've always taken care of my business. I think that, a customer looking, it's not just a simplistic transaction, right? It's typically you're talking about, a home loan, which is oftentimes your biggest investment. So I think that putting that in the hands of someone that cares about you as an individual, will look out for your best interest.
Has been through the process.
Yes, has been through the process.
Step by step.
And I would like to think similar to our business, like Fix and Hooker, they care about the customer, but they're going to look out for their best interest and make sure that they lead them through that process and guide them, as to what they think is best for that person. And I think that's important. We've also entrusted our business with Fix and Hooker Lumber, so we conduct business with them as well from Fix and Hooker.
This is firsthand experience
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, and they've always been great to us and for our business, and they have a lot of a lot of good things to offer as far as guidance, whether it be on a personal level or on a business level from a financial standpoint. So I think that, and they also live in this community. So they eat here, they live here, so I think
they're more acquainted with your needs.
That's correct, yeah. And I think that Wilson Bank has always done such a good job giving back to the community. They've always really led by example and have just made a huge impact, a positive impact in this community, which is great.
And I did not pay you to say that.
That's right. No.
This is a real testimonial here. So it's always good to, whether you're going to the doctor, whatever it is, you go to a good friend and say, hey, who do you recommend? And you first-handedly use Wilson Bank and Trust. So that's always so refreshing to hear that your experience has been so positive. And
and I would also say that, just like we're a small lumberyard here in Lebanon, but we try and compete with the big guys as well. So Wilson Bank and Trust, being a local community bank,
it makes it special.
Yeah, it does. But they can also compete, with the national banks and some of the big banks. So, but yeah, you get that personal touch that you don't always get with other companies. So, and their rates are good, and which is important.
Yes, it is.
But yeah.
So we've been doing this expo for 25 years, and this year has been no exception. What are your thoughts on that? We're still doing the expo in the midst of COVID.
I think it's important. It's easy this year or 2020 to just throw in the towel, to say, hey, it's too much trouble. It's easy to cancel things. But I think it's awesome that Wilson Bank and Trust has continued to push through and local businesses a platform to connect with their customers. So I think it shows the leadership this bank's always had in this community, to where they're going to persevere, they're going to push through and continue to do something, even if it's different versus just canceling. So, and you know, I think that speaks volumes to the bank and what they do for this community. And
Sure.
and so yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for us as a small business to have a platform to touch base with our customers, you know.
Yes, if there's a will, there's a way. And this is truly just such a time of reinvention right now. What used to be normal may not be normal now when we, you know, grip so hard on that. It's like we become bitter and resentful, but what if it's just a time to reinvent and change how we used to do something to now still doing this expo, but
That's
now
right.
virtually, which there are some perks to that.
That's
for
true,
sure.
yeah. And I think there's a lot of businesses that everyone understands, a lot of local businesses, especially if you're in the hospitality or the restaurant business, that, you know, may be struggling. So I
Sure.
think it's a good opportunity to kind of let them get in front of their customers, and hopefully people continue to buy local and continue to support their you know, the businesses in this community. And I think it's
Yes.
important. So I'm glad that we're able to push through and continue to do the expo. I've been involved with it now, I think 17 years. So
Wow.
I missed the first few, but yeah.
we won't
we'll-
hold it against
That's
you.
right. But yeah, so I hope many more.
17 out of 25,
Yeah, it's
not bad at all.
Not bad. But we hope, of course, like everyone, to get back to normal.
Yes.
To get back to the expo center and have customers actually come to the booths and be able to spend time with them individually and talk with our customers. Because we have such good, loyal customers in this community, and we're very grateful for each and every one of them. So.
Yes. Well, Clint, it was so wonderful
Yeah,
to
nice to
meet
meet
you
you.
and chat with you. And
Absolutely.
Fakes and Hooker Lumber, you definitely want to check them out.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.